Back at 6:14, it's a conversation maybe you've had with yourself and your loved ones. What do you want to happen to your body after you pass?
And for a long time, it was either cremation or traditional burial in the ground or a mausoleum. This morning, Zach Lajway is looking at green burials, what they entail and what's allowed in Texas.
Tranquility Oak Cemetery looks like a typical graveyard. But if you look closely, there's a section that looks a little different.
You've got your overlapping trees, your shade, the grass doesn't grow, so you'll see the moss on the ground, which really entails the all-natural preservation of the land.
Michaela Cleary is manager of Addison Funeral Homes in Spring.
It really encompasses what we try to entail in a green burial.
Those buried beneath the earth's surface are not embalmed, nor are they in a coffin or a concrete box, explains Glenn Addison, owner of Addison Funeral Homes.
Many of the folks that are here in our green burial area are simply shrouded and then gently lowered down into the grave, and then the dirt is just gently placed over them.
According to Green Burial Council International, there are more than 400 cemeteries throughout the U.S. and Canada that offer green burials.
The number is increasing.
Caitlin Hauke is on the board of directors of Green Burial Council International, a nonprofit aimed to inspire and advocate for environmentally sustainable natural death care.
You're not doing the environment any favors by doing a traditional burial. Usually the body gets embalmed. Embalming fluid contains a number of different chemicals, including formaldehyde. You're putting a casket into the ground. They tend to be made of materials that are things like rare wood or metals and things that you generally wouldn't want to be resourcing and then putting into the ground.
Caitlin says traditional burials can produce 250 pounds of carbon, while green burials sequester 25 pounds of emissions. There are also greener funeral options that are alternatives to traditional embalming, like plant-based chemicals and essential oils. And instead of cremation by fire, more than 20 states, Texas not one, allows for cremation by water. The process is called alkaline hydrolysis. According to Green Burial Council International, this method uses less energy.
You're putting a body in a chamber that gets filled with a lot of water and a very alkaline mixture of chemicals, and the body is warmed up. The organic material gets turned into that liquid. That liquid can either go down the drain or they can save it, and it's actually really rich in nutrients, so you can take that liquid and then use it for like fertilizer. Similarly to flame cremation with the bones, and then those get ground up into a fine powder.
At the end of the day, the end of life is personal. And for some, they want their final act to be one with the earth.
Green burials and green funeral options typically cost less than traditional burials and funerals. Again, it's going to depend on what it is you want personally and whether that is legal where you live. For example, cremation by water is not legal for humans in Texas. However, it is for your pets.
Okay.
All right. I like these options.
Yeah.
And it is typically less money.
It is
right
typically
now.
cheaper and obviously more eco-friendly.
Yeah.
So as it picks up,
right,
that could change, as far as with the cost, the price point.
It's a tough but important conversation to have.
It is, absolutely.